Senate Republicans did exactly what Senate Republicans threatened to do. They blocked the passage of legislation that would fund the government and would also raise the debt ceiling. This happened on Monday of this week. Again, this is something that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell was threatening to do, to filibuster this bill, and that happened. So the GOP rejected a proposal to fund the government into December and lift the debt ceiling past next year's midterm. So the plan was to fund the government up through December of 2022. That way, politicians can do what they do best, spend all their time focusing on fundraising for the midterms. Now, the Republicans, of course, use the filibuster. You would need 10 Republican senators to vote in favor of the legislation. They didn't get that. And so the vote did fail. And you're about to see how that played out on the Senate floor. Let's take a look.
On this vote, the yeas are 48, the nays are 50. 3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
I want to make sure everyone understands exactly what has happened here on the Senate floor. The Republican Party has now become the party of default, the party that says America doesn't pay its debts. Our country is staring down the barrel of two totally Republican manufactured disasters, a government shutdown and a first ever default on the national debt.
That was a cute speech, but Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrats are in charge. They're in charge. So this game of trying to blame Republicans for what happened, I get it because it's accurate, but that's not what the American people are gonna see. The American people are gonna see that Democrats have the executive branch and Democrats have both control of the House and the Senate. So it's really hard to blame the Republican Party for something that honestly Democrats could have prevented from happening by doing away with the filibuster. So you don't need to worry about a legislative filibuster standing in the way of passing this legislation. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. So by the way, if you're gonna try to twist this and turn this and try to blame the GOP for it, I get it. But can you have a little charisma, a little oomph? He's like, I'm here today to explain to you how it's not our fault, even though we're in power and we could have totally prevented this from happening. Anyway, I'm gonna go take a nap. What was that?
I think he was in the middle of the nap when he was giving that speech. And it's funny you said that because I was gonna pick up on the same thing. You guys are gonna love it when progressives are in charge because we're gonna have fun and we're gonna actually make our points in an interesting and clear way. So this guy comes out here and he's like, now I'd like to point out today that the parliamentarian told the filibuster dude who then told the other person, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? There's two options here, okay? And so if we had a charismatic progressive in charge of the Democratic Party, they'd do one of two things. They'd say, hey, good news, guys. We ended the filibuster. We don't need Republicans at all. We have enough votes in the Senate and the House, and we have the presidency. Guess who gave us that power? You did, American people. We're gonna use it. Now, the Republicans are not happy. Good thing they lost. So here's the thing that all the things that we're gonna pass. We're gonna get you child tax credit. We're gonna get you paid family leave. We're gonna get you this. By the way, when we got them the giant relief package in the beginning, they loved it. Biden was at 61% approval. Now he's in the 40s and dropping, right? Because after that, they did nothing. When you gave them something, they liked it a lot. When you gave them nothing, they didn't like it. Ooh, that's tough to figure out. Oh, but the parliamentarian says, no. So you go, move, get out of the way. Get out the way, yo, get out the way, right? So that's option number one. And by the way, after you pass it, then you go, child tax credit. And you bring in all these folks and they go, she got a child tax credit, he got a child tax credit. What'd you do with it? What'd you do with it? You give a giant speech and you go, this is what the Republicans wanted to prevent? They wanted you to not be able to go and work and have somebody take care of your kids? Who's supposed to take care of your kids? The dog? Is that what the Republicans wanted? Okay, humiliate them, embarrass them, because their position is embarrassing. So that's so easy. But instead, the Democrats are like, but we did not receive Republican permission, so we don't quite know what to do. Okay, so option number two, I haven't heard anyone else say. Because it's a Cenk option.
That'd be a roll though.
That I know that. How did they do that and had not realized they look like? I mean, come on, man.
No, they look like they're really fighting for us, everybody.
And the funny thing is, everybody in Washington sees this too, and they think, "Ooh,
nailed it.
They're so good, man. They are master legislators." And they do. They 24/7, the media's kissing their ass. It's hilarious. Anyways, here's option number 2 on the debt ceiling. Oh, okay, the Republicans all voted no. Okay, we're not gonna lift the debt ceiling. I'm not gonna do it until the Republicans give me 1 vote. But wait a minute, then the government would shut down and the economy would collapse. Yeah, I need 1 Republican vote. Well, no, but you can't do that because then the economy will crash. I know. So I'm asking, is there a single Republican in the country who doesn't want to crash the economy? Oh, every single one of them wants to crash the economy. Well, that's interesting. All right, let's have at it. But remember, it was every Republican who wanted to crash it. And then let it crash. Oh no, we can't do that. Look, guys, the Republicans are gonna buckle it.
But our AAA rating, Cenk.
Oh, my ass.
What's gonna happen to our AAA rating?
Now, it's all BS. Here's what's gonna happen. I guaranteed if you do that, within 6 hours of us the United States of America not paying its bills, things that we have already spent and promised to pay, we don't pay our credit card. All of the corporations, when the stock market crashes, are gonna call their Republican senators and go, "What the hell do you think you're doing? Shut up, go on that floor, and you all vote yes." And they're all gonna go, "Oh, okay, I'm so sorry, I didn't know, I was just trying to play poker, I'm so sorry. That's who Republicans are, man. You'll break them in 6 hours. You won't get 1 Republican yes vote, you'll get 40. But it would take cojones.
100%.
It would take someone with actual strength. And these corporate Democrats, they're paid to lose. They're funded by the donors to be weaklings. It's not an accident. That's why they don't do obvious things.
So I want to go to the second graphic here because I'm curious what your thoughts are. Because even Republicans have the same mindset they did decades ago, and I'm not sure this strategy is really gonna work for them. So Republicans see a political advantage to forcing Democrats to raise the debt ceiling on their own through reconciliation. Doing so forces Democrats to raise the debt to a certain number instead of doing a suspension through a certain date. The move would likely be fodder for campaign ads against vulnerable Democrats in the 2022 midterm elections. Like I don't know about you guys, but if I saw a political ad where it's like some Republican or any politician who's going against, his opponent by claiming like, you know what they did? They lifted the debt ceiling. They lifted the debt ceiling.
No, they didn't. Did they? No. Oh, that's it, I'm voting against them.
Really? That's what you've got? But that's the thing, like, the GOP has nothing to offer its voters. Nothing. Like, what are their ideas?
Yeah.
What do they want to do to improve people's lives? Like, what are their policy ideas? Can someone tell me? Maybe I missed it, but I haven't seen anything coming from the Republican Party for a long time other than let's cut taxes on corporations and the rich. Other than that, nothing, okay? So they want to rely on like, they raised the debt ceiling, these awful, like Democrats are awful for a whole host of other reasons. But they're not gonna go after them for those reasons because they agree with Democrats, corporate Democrats on those things, right? But in terms of like raising the debt ceiling, I don't know, man. People are struggling right now. I would argue the last thing that they would care about is a negative political ad attacking a candidate because they voted in favor of raising the debt ceiling.
Yeah, and so the way that they'll frame that, of course, in the ads is, oh my God, the Democrats added to our debt. Now, when we were doing the $2 trillion tax cuts for the rich under Trump, no one talked about this debt ceiling. This is a literal fact. When Trump was in charge for 4 years, the Republicans raised the debt ceiling, never made an issue out of it. Democrats, of course, because they're clowns, never made an issue out of it. Full well knowing that when Obama was president and when the next Democrat is president, the Republicans are gonna pretend to care about the debt ceiling. Again, if we had charismatic progressive leaders, when they were doing a $2 trillion tax cut for the rich, they would have gotten up and go, debt ceiling. Sons of bitches are raising the debt ceiling to pay for $2 trillion in tax cuts for the wealthiest people in the country. Debt ceiling, right? But no. So if you're wondering why don't they? I mean, why there's not a single charismatic Democrat in the country? No, there's plenty of them. They get defeated in primaries when Democratic majority for Israel and ExxonMobil and Big Pharma spend millions of dollars to defeat strong Democrats. They then take their oil money, the banker money, et cetera, and they give it to Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. And then they go out there and go, now be weak. Beg the Republicans, beg them at every turn. Never challenge them, especially on tax cuts for the rich. And Schumer and Pelosi go, yes, sir, absolutely, sir. And that's why we play these silly games. Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.